Hi, and thank you for coming to view my third video. I really appreciate it. This part of my multiple myeloma journey, I will be speaking about the supplements I take. Please forgive my voice. It really is just going through a weak phase, and so we just continue to work with it and love it as much as possible until I get better. What I want to talk about is, why do I supplement? I have all this lovely, healthy, nutritious food, which should be giving me the vitamins, minerals, amino acids that I need. So what's going on? And the thing is, I can eat as healthily as I like. The food can be as organic as I'm able to get it, but there's no way of knowing for sure whether the food is enough. So the supplements come into it. The way that I know what supplements to take and what ones to continue taking all goes back to what I learned with Sally Ann Creed, and that was from the blood test she did. So from there, knowing how my immune system is, I know what supplements to take. Knowing what my iron levels are, I know if I need to supplement or not. Knowing of the state of my kidneys and liver, I know what to do. I've just got more options, and if I am fully aware of what's happening inside my body as well as on the outside. So that is the reason why I continue to have blood tests and I continue to take supplements. I don't take the same supplements forever and ever. Some of them do change. Some I will take a break for a while. An example of that is the iron tablets. I went through a stage near the beginning of being quite anemic, and so we supplemented with iron, but that soon came back to normal. That was when I was with the homeopath. But that soon came back to normal, and I could stop them, because if you have too much iron, then it's also bad for you. So my iron now falls into the correct parameters, and so we leave it alone. The things that I don't take a break from, because it is the nature of multiple myeloma, is the things that help with inflammation and the things that help with the immune system. So I'm going to tell you bit by bit what I have been taking and what I'm taking now. So we'll start with those that I was taking and I no longer take. At the very beginning with Sally Ann Creed, she put me onto granules called A1 cancer granules. They came in a container, and I had them with water. They turned out to be extremely expensive, and I think I carried it on for 2 months and then had to stop because it was over 1,000 rand just for that. I'm telling you the price. Just when I say extremely expensive, I mean it's not sustainable on an income that is not very high. But I felt that those 2 months would at least give my body the kickstart, and Sally Ann Creed agreed. Then the other things that I don't take constantly is the D3 and the K2. I had them at the beginning because they are helpful for strong bones and muscle. That's the D3, and it does help to absorb the calcium from the blood back into the bones. And that's so, in other words, to be able to take it out of the food into the blood, and then for the blood to be able to put it back into the bones. So that I took for a while, but now it's summer here, and it's very hot here in Durban with a lot of sunshine, so I know that I am getting enough D2. Then there's the K2, which also does help promote healthy bones, the minerals density of the bones by carboxylating osteocalcin, which is a protein that binds the calcium to the bones. The reason I stopped those is because if you have too much K2, it's also bad. So I kind of go on for it for a while, and then I come off it for a while, just so that I try and keep an equilibrium going there. Then for my inflammation, there is zinc, selenium, the D3, which I was taking for a while, and I'll probably start taking again in winter, and then selenium and vitamin C. So those are very important for for my immune system. And the zinc also helps with metabolic function, which is also very important for me. And it does help with my energy levels. It also does help prevent me from getting too sick because my immune system is compromised anyway. The other two that I said with that was the vitamin C. I try and have the vitamin C in powder form because it's easily absorbed into the body and doesn't just sit in the stomach, which I'm having trouble with digesting food and so on anyway. So the quicker the vitamin C can get into the body, the better. Vitamin C is also often used as a cancer treatment. High doses of vitamin C, normally given in drip form. Unfortunately, it is an expensive process and the medical aid do not pay for it. So it was not something that I could do. And therefore, for me, the next best thing was to take the vitamin C in powder form so that I could have it as quickly as possible into my bloodstream. And then with that is the selenium. Selenium is also found in sesame seeds. And I just want to just check here, sorry, because I think what's important. Oh. Okay, I'm actually not too sure now because I haven't got it here. But as far as I know, the selenium is good for the metabolism. But anyway, I know I'm supposed to have it. I don't have it written down. No problem. So those are the ones that I have for my immune system most of the time. Then there is for the inflammation. From the very beginning, I've been taking curcumin, which is from the turmeric plant, but because you need it in high doses and you can actually eat, I have it in capsule form, but I also have it in my food. So if I'm having something that's like a savory dish, I'll often put half a teaspoon of turmeric to that, just to add. I'm saying a lot of ums, I know. Please forgive me. This is difficult for me. I am telling my life story and it can be a bit emotional. So thank you for understanding. So what I would like to say as well is I'm talking about all these supplements as if, okay, you know, it's that easy. It's not. It's very expensive. And I have a family and friends who willingly help. They pay every month. They have right from the beginning. And they are just so generous with that because I cannot afford it. I wouldn't be able to do even the things I am doing without their help. So for all of those struggling out there, really just know that your tribe is important. If you feel alone, there's always someone you can reach out to. And you're welcome to phone me, message me if you want to know any other information about why, for me, community became so important. And then I want to just talk a little bit more about some of the other supplements I have. I have something called lycopene, which is found in the red pigment of fruit and veg, mainly fruit. So we've got the tomatoes, etc. But again, to get the amounts that my body needs for now, I do take a supplement. Now the lycopene is an antioxidant and it also has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. So it's very important, and that one I continue to have every day. Then with multiple myeloma, your blood, one's blood becomes thicker, more viscous, and can be in danger of clotting. So we need to do as much as possible to prevent clots from happening. And so I do have omega-3, which is a blood thinner. I think the lycopene is also a blood thinner. There were a number. When I had my operation, I had to stop because they thinned the blood. But other than that, the omega-3 is also an anti-inflammatory. It has to be a good quality vitamin, omega-3, and it cannot be from farmed fish. It does need to be from wild caught fish. So it's like Alaskan wild caught salmon, the salmon caught off the west coast of South Africa. those become, the Cape salmon I think it's called, those become extremely important, that the oil is as clean, as high grade, as natural as possible. Other than that, there's also a multivitamin. A multivitamin's always been a difficult one, and I didn't quite know how to take it. So a friend suggested that I take Biostrat, which it's an all-over tonic and does help the body to absorb certain vitamins and minerals. So that's what I do, or certain vitamins, I suppose. No, minerals as well. And let's stick with that. And I've just recently started taking it in syrup form because the tablet was not being properly digested in my digestive system, and therefore I wasn't gaining much from having it in tablet form. So that became another important thing, to have it in syrup. And then I also want to just speak briefly this week. I'll speak in more detail next week. When I had the meeting with Sally Ann Creed, she suggested I take a CBD oil. At the time, I didn't know enough about it. I didn't quite know what kind of dosages I would need. There was a whole lot of information I wasn't sure of. So it took me another 2 years before I went onto cannabis oil. Now, the cannabis oil does have both the THC and the CBD. And as I say, I will explain why and how, in what form I have it, but that will be in the next video. Leading into that, the expert who does the cannabis for me also suggested that I go onto some tissue salts. The four that are most important for blood and bones is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I just want to read that as well because I don't know this offhand. So there's the calflor, which helps with elasticity, flexibility, strength, resilience of the connective tissues, and the tooth enamel, which is also something I have to be very aware of. And then it also helps the walls of the blood vessels. Then the next one is number 2, which is calphos, and this is a cell builder and an excellent tonic. So it's needed for the blood, for the connective tissue, and particularly for the liver, the blood, and the bile. So these are things that I have to look after all the time. Then we're on to number 3, which is the calself. It's a cleanser and blood purifier. No harm in keeping my blood as clean as I'm able to, and let my body be able to cope with what it needs to cope with. And then number 4, which is ferrum phos, and this is called the breath of life, as it helps to get oxygen to other parts of the body. It is also an anti-inflammatory. On top of that, I have since added number 6, which is caliphos, which helps with the anxiety levels that I've been feeling. And of course, anxiety, it came on far more in 2020 when I was stuck here alone, and it's been hard to get that back under control. So the caliphos does help a lot. And then finally, number 8, which is the CalMag, and this does help with mineral absorption back into my body, into my tissues, and it does also help with the leg cramps and the back cramps that I get because of my compressed fractures. The MRI shows that all the places where the compressed fractures are remain unstable because the bones are not being built up again. They are places that I have to be very careful about. So because I'm still challenged now with the digestion from the radiation, I went to the last visit with the oncologist. I asked him, what can he suggest? And he said he doesn't really know what to suggest because it's not his field of expertise. And he suggests maybe I speak to someone else. So a friend reminded me that I could email my GP and ask her if she would do a virtual consultation with me. When I emailed her, she said yes, with pleasure. If I give her enough information and if she doesn't need to actually see me, and my body for whatever the diagnosis is. So I spoke to her about the digestion and about the referred pain that I get in my arm. And she's, knowing who I am and how I do like to be as natural as possible, she suggested uni enzyme, which you can get over the counter, in the store. And it's a natural enzyme. It's got a number of things in it which help the stomach and the enzymes. But I need something to really like kickstart it because it is so bad. So she's put me on something called Creon, Creon. It's also very expensive. And medical aid did pay for it, but out of my day-to-day. So I can't keep it up because it'll eat my day-to-day in a couple of months. But it is good as the amylase, the lipase, and whatever the third one is. It escapes me for now. And so I have that 3 times a day with meals. It has already helped. I've been having it since this past Saturday. So it's only 4 days. And I am feeling the difference. Definitely must be digesting better because I'm not having the same issues that I was last week. And that's good news. So the other thing that was added in December was vitamin B, B12 and folic acid because of my energy levels. They were extremely low. So those have been added as well. And I take the B12 as a chewable tablet because that way, again, it gets into the bloodstream quicker. Finally, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for listening to my story. And if you do like what I have to say, please hit the like button because I'm feeling a little bit anxious that it might not be something that people really want to talk about or hear about, and I might just be wasting people's time. So if you could physically click the like button so that I can see physically how many people actually are enjoying the content, and which would be very helpful. I really appreciate you and this place where I can speak with and tell my story to people who may need to hear it. So until next time, next week, Thursday, this is me saying goodbye.